Our next speaker is the founder of the Salt and Pepper Gang. I want you to give it up for this gentleman, creating change in the lives of young people, as well as his role in leadership and changing the world around him and the world that he knows. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Rico Davis!
You look good and you smell good. That's suave. I want to thank you guys. I definitely want to thank Miss Brenda. I definitely want to thank Tommy for this opportunity. My name is Rico Davis, founder of the Salt and Pepper Gang, which is a group of distinguished gentlemen who does amazing work in the communities. A lot of people see us on social media and just think that we just that group of guys with suits on, fedora hats, just walking through doors, videos going viral. Yes, we have that, but we're more than just that. A lot of us are business owners, corporate America, former professional athletes. We give back to the community. We do amazing work in the community by having programs called Reach One, Teach One, where last week we just took 3 young men to the mall who were making good grades in school but could not afford to go to prom until we step up. So what we did was we took them to the mall and bought them everything that they needed to go to prom. You know, since our existence, which is now 4 years, last year we took 5 young men to the mall, bought them everything that they needed. On top of that, we escorted them to prom. On top of that, we paid the Houston Police Department to escort them, so they felt like rock stars to have the police officers escort them prom. We don't stop there. You know, we go to senior citizen homes and we give every woman, the last senior citizen home we did, which was for Valentine's Day, it was 52 ladies in there. I was able to meet a lady who had just turned 100 years old. It's therapeutic not only for them, but for us as well, because you got to think about it. I don't have a grandmother, and some of the guys that's in this group don't have grandmothers. So for us to be able to go to a senior citizen home and put a smile on this lady's face, because they tell us they have family members that put them in this home and has not seen them in a year or 2 years. So for them not to know who I am, but to walk up to them wearing suave and giving her a rose and giving her a balloon and say, Happy Valentine's Day. That made her feel special. We either choose Valentine's Day or Mother's Day. So that's what we do. You know, we take young men bowling. And when I was a kid, no one has ever, I grew up with a single mom. No one ain't never knocked on my mama's door and said, Miss Davis, we would like to take your son bowling. We would like to take your son to the movies. That didn't happen. So I'm doing things that I know as a child who didn't have the opportunity to go to the movies. You know, like my son, he's blessed. He's able to go to a gym where there's a sauna, there's a jacuzzi, there's indoor gyms. When I was coming up, I grew up on the park. We couldn't afford to go to the gym. I used to hear about a gym. I didn't know what that was. I learned how to play basketball on hard concrete because I didn't have that privilege. So as we all get older, we always want to provide for our kids so they don't have to deal with what we dealt with. And to the young entrepreneurs, and I think we all can attest to this, don't we all want success? That's the reason why we all are here. Raise your hand if you don't want success. Exactly. Raise your hand if you want success. Amen. Okay, that's why we're here. We're here because we all want success. When I was a kid growing up, I could see success. I knew it was on the top of the hill. I knew that. And just like everybody else, we start climbing that hill because we want success. You know, I lived in California, there's mudslides. I'm rolling back down. But when you want success, you're going to keep trying. You're going to keep trying. And if you are like many of us who want success, a mudslide is not going to stop you. Earthquake is not going to stop you. Obstacle is not going to stop you. Wall is not going to stop you. For me growing up, there was always walls. Always. I either jumped over it. I either knocked it down. I either went around it. I did whatever I needed to do to get to my destination. And that's how we all have to look at life. Because anything that you want in life, I learned early, it won't come easy. And I learned from my grandmother, If something come easy, she used to always tell me this about girls. If it came easy, it won't last.
Amen.
If it came easy, it might not be good for you. Just like, go back to women or girls. If she makes you work to get her love, that might be the right woman for you. Anything that I wanted in life, I made sure it didn't come easy for me. I put in the work to do anything that I wanted. And I never forget, like I said, we all want success, but you also have to look like success. I remember I used to work for a company called, I used to live in Jacksonville, Florida, of course. I used to work for a company called EquiCredit. It was in the Bank of America building. Anybody that knows me, I always separated myself from others. You know, yes, I grew up in the hood. I was never the one that sagged my pants. I've always been the one that dressed differently as far as trying to keep myself and my appearance on point. But when I worked for a place called EquiCredit, I was in customer service. Most person that work customer service, you can wear jeans, you know, t-shirt or whatever. I would go to work with a three-piece suit on, with a briefcase. Others that didn't even know who I was like, is that the CEO? They didn't know that. In my briefcase, I had nothing but pictures in there. That's it. But it's just the way I look and the way I carry myself. Because the way I look, it opened up other doors for me. So keep that in mind. When you want success, you have to dress like success even if you haven't gotten there yet. So by the time you do get there, you already know how to look. Because I notice about how people treat you. How you look, your appearance is everything. And that's what we teach young men. Because I've been in management for so many years, and I know there were some young men that came in there that I was not going to hire. If I had some type of feelings towards this young man who I see and hear the things that come out of his mouth, but I know why he's probably not going to get hired is because of his appearance. After the interview was over with, I would walk out there and say, look, young man, you might not get the job here, but on your next interview, you might not want to wear those clogs. You might not want to be having holes in your pants, because I know it's the style. But when you're looking for a job, it's not about the style, it's about your representation. So this is what we teach young men. And you'll be amazed with one of our programs, we teach young men how to tie a tie. There are some grown men that don't know how to tie a tie. So when you go to a job interview, you don't want to be having your pants sagging. You want to be able to put on a belt. And yes, it's okay, and I don't care how old you are. I'm from the South. I'm originally from Charleston, South Carolina. And I am okay telling somebody, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir. It's okay, because that will take you a long way in life. Because a lot of these young kids nowadays, they want to say things like, yeah, no, excuse me, yes or no. Everything that comes out of your mouth is a difference. It makes a difference in your life. So if you want to be successful and you want to be what some of your friends is not, then you may have to leave some of them behind. Because I try to teach my son now, there's going to be people that he's probably not even going to talk to no more. But of course, you know, the younger generation now, they think it's the end of the world if something don't happen. So I try to teach them that, hey, and someone mentioned it before, we all have a lot of friends. But as you get older, you realize that your circle gets a lot smaller. I tell people all the time, I don't even have a circle no more, I got a dot. Because in order for you to be successful, you have to separate yourself from people who don't think like you. And one of the things that I always say is this: if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. You need to leave that room and put yourself in rooms where you could grow. Put yourself in rooms where you can expand your knowledge and your horizon if you want to be successful. Because when you sit back 10, 15 years from now, you can be like, I'm so glad I made the right decision. Because some of the people that you left behind who was doing the exact same thing, you're going to realize they're still doing the exact same thing. Some people just don't want to be successful. And also, there are some people who are programmed, and it's nothing wrong with working a 9 to 5. But some people are programmed to work a 9 to 5. And when I was in corporate America, after I got off work at 5 o'clock, that's when my real work started. Because in order for you to separate yourself from others to be successful, you have to do the things that others is not doing. And in corporate America, I realized people that wanted to get off at 5 o'clock, you know what they do? Oh, I get off work and I go home and I watch the local news. I watch my favorite TV series and I go to sleep and I go back to work the next day. So you mean to tell me you're going to do this for the next 20 to 30 years? Your life is boring. I'm sorry. Your life is boring. So I wanted to put myself in a position, and I lived on a golf course, and I used to watch guys golfing at 10 o'clock in the morning. That's the life I wanted. It got to the point where every day when I got off at 5 o'clock, I knew exactly which traffic light I was at 5:15 because it was repetitious. And I didn't want my life to be repetitious. Every day to do the exact same thing just to be able to provide for my family. I wanted to put myself in a position to where I control my destiny. I want to be put in a position to where if I want to go to work, that's my decision. Now, granted, I'm going to go because I got bills and responsibility to take care of, but I want to do it on my own terms. You know, ain't nothing worse than working for someone and you have to make a business phone call and they tell you, hey, it ain't your break right now. You got to get back to work. I didn't like that. That's why I got in management. So I can be able to tell people what to do because, again, I wasn't the one that... I've done it for so many years, and I got to the point where I'm ready to control my own destiny. So if you are ready to control your own destiny, you can't be afraid. You cannot be afraid. And in business, I'm going to tell you now, you better have thick skin. You have to have thick skin in business because not all deals is going to be in your favor. You have to know how to be able to take a couple of slaps, bruises. You're going to get knocked down. But most of all of your successful entrepreneurs is the one that got back up and kept fighting. But if you decided to stay on the ground because you heard your first no, hell, some of us, we can say, a girl that you really like, she told you no. What do? You keep it moving. You just ain't shut down and be like, I never try to date again in my life. So, in other words, in life and to be successful, you have to keep trying, you have to keep trying, and you have to keep trying. Because I always learned that if it was easy, just like I tell people when I go to the gym all the time, if it was easy, everybody be doing it. That's what's going to separate you from others because you are going the extra mile that others don't want to go. Just like you talk about the unshakable. You have to be unshakable towards anything in life. Because if you just accept anything that somebody tell you without doing your own research, becoming a better you. Everything that we're doing, even myself, I'm always trying to become better at anything that I'm doing in life. And we can't get too complacent. We have to be like how modern technology is now. Because just like an old cell phone, let's say a 2020 cell phone, they change. Everything evolve. You can't be stuck on your 2020 Android phone. I'm an Android person. I have to upgrade. I have to stay up with technology, just like how we are right now with technology. We know that everything is about to be taken over by robots. So do you sit there and wait for it to take over, or do you prepare yourself to be prepared because it is going to happen? You have to put yourself in a position. So if you are in business now and you're trying to figure out a way how my business is going to be successful, knowing that everything is going towards AI, automatic, then now as you start in your business, you need to start putting yourself in a position to where you have to learn it. Some people say, I don't want to learn that stuff. Well, then you're going to be behind. That's the where we're going. So it's best that you learn what it is that you need now, so when that time comes, you can say, hey, I'm a little familiar with it. It's like when I used to be a sports agent, and I would try to explain to some of these parents that your son is about to go into instant millions. Now, you as a mom or dad, you might not understand investment, but what I would like for you to do is take some courses on investing, so when your son start getting these millions of dollars, and then you start hearing all these different bankers and investors coming in there trying to explain you where you should put your money at, you at least have an idea of what it is. Because I've seen it happen, overnight success. But I'm not going to take too much of your time. I just wanted to let you know what success looks like. It's not easy. It's hard work. But you have two options. You can either work for someone else and work hard, or you can work hard for yourself. I tell people all the time, when you work for somebody, you got to deal with a lot of BS. When you work for yourself, you got to deal with a lot of BS. But would you rather deal with your BS or their BS? And I'll leave with this last. How do you spell grow? What is it? G-R-O-W. I want to leave you with this. And if you think about this, you will be successful. In order for you to become successful, you must use the word grow. And the word grow stands for you must set goals that are realistic, that allows you option to be a winner. Yeah.
Rico Davis, ladies and gents. See how he brought me in for that scent of the suave? He brought it in. Okay, I get it.